And
it's in progress. Okay, great. Thank
wonderful.
you.
So thank you, Prabhu. I'm just going to get you on. Uh, right, I can get myself off.
Your background banner is extremely brilliant,
You like
beautiful.
it? Think I
But
should keep it.
I'm wondering, that place seems to be a very tropical place because you have swans, you have got a boat with a swan, and you've got beautiful lilies and lotuses. It's rare, and you can see the swan of Lord Brahma
Yeah.
on the air. But on the front end part, you still have a muffler on your head. That is a very interesting thing.
Yeah. Good catch. Good catch. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. It's
tropical and
interesting.
cold. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Actually,
All
good
right.
job you said that. I was about to say, yes, very nice weather here as well. I am there right now. But you're right, you caught me out, so I won't say. All right.
Very good.
Anyway, thank you so much, Prabhu Dandavats Pranam. Thank you for joining.
Pronouns.
And just want to quickly introduce you to our people present here, the listeners. So I'm sure it's a lot more than 35 years now because you probably written that while ago. So, but you have been in the movement for over 35 years
Yeah.
and doing various service for Guru Maharaj, Japataka Swami. You are God brother, and also serving Srila Prabhupada, and you have mercy of both. Because you're doing so nicely, you're doing so many variety of services. You are involved in the deity service at Soho Street Temple,
So
and
street. Yeah.
yeah, and also doing so many courses as well. You have obviously worked really hard to get where you are now, and you also in the teacher training course as well, and Vaishnav etiquette. I think you left no stone unturned.
No, there is a lot of stones to be turned. I
This
know about
lot,
it. That's fine.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
quite
good.
a lot.
That's a good thing. Yes, we have to keep going. So
Yeah.
that's a good
Thank
attitude,
you.
and please bless us with
Probably I will.
that
Yeah.
as well. And
Yes.
so
Amazing.
yeah, so I'm really looking forward for hearing from you. And on chapter 13, it's a very interesting chapter. Really enjoyed going through it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I'm just going to pass on to yourselves, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I'll start with the prayers to the spiritual masters and the preceptors. And am I audible?
Perfectly, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll start with prayers and then we'll see what the Lord is inspiring me, how much ever I can. Yatamati Yatadinam. Whoever is being empowered on that particular day is what we can speak. Bhagavatam is not something a very mechanical booklet or book. It's very dynamic and it's extremely spiritual in its nature. So Krishna in the heart of every living entity has to inspire. If we need to even touch upon the grace of the Supreme Lord in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashrākaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Maishamansya Shri Rupam Sakrijatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sargana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sva हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarani Mukam Karati Vacham Mangalangaiti Girim Yatpatam Deshi Gurum Nintaranam Paramananda Madham Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmaya Balabhadra Shubhadrabhyam Jagannatha Te Namo Namah. Yom Tatsat. I'm skipping Radha Madhav because you are used to it. So thank you for allowing me to and accommodating me to even speak a few words of whatever knowledge I have in terms of understanding trying to give an overview of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, canto 1, chapter number 13, which is Dhritarashtra, the king of Hastinapur, the emperor. He quits his home. Incidentally, I was just contemplating on this. The last time I actually attempted to give a summary, it was actually a 6th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the first canto. And I was just astonished. I'm in 13th chapter. Time is flying like as if it's no man's business. All glories to Narayan Keshav Prabhu, who's been diligently bringing all of us here into this platform. And this is basically because of his pure love for Sri Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is simply considered as a sugar cane. You can eat both sides and it's going to ooze with the nectarine juice. You can never say it is one side of salty, one side of sugar. It's always sweet on the both sides. Primarily, we may not be able to see Krishna's direct hands in our daily routine or in our daily life, right? But we see the Lord's direction in every moment of our lives. So that's the beauty of this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Phalam. It's coming from the beautiful lotus mouth of Shukamuni, right? Pibata Bhagavata Rasamalayam Muhur Rasika Bhavi Bhavaka. The more you drink, more you relish, more you will love it. And you will see that's the panacea for the entire cosmic manifestation at this point. The sum total of all our activities which you are performing as a day-to-day routine is actually in some way or other entangling us. The only way by which we can overcome that entanglement is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Patan Patan Yajan Yajan. We need to actually contemplate and start bringing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in our daily routine. It's a very important practice. This chapter is an overview. I am only trying to attempt. I am not be able to give a complete justice to the entire chapter. As Narayan Prabhu said, it's a very interesting, a very sweet and a very completely charged up, what you call it as a preaching, right? You can see Vidura. Vidura is a personality who is representing Aryama and he is charging up and he's preaching to Dhritarashtra. So the basic prelude of this entire chapter itself is coming from Mahabharata, basically, right? Vidura, who is actually an Amsha of Lord of Justice, Dharmaraj. He was a Shudra's son, basically from the connection. So, but he happens to be the brother of Dhritarashtra. But he was an advisor. He had to leave the palace because of the abuse and chastisement of Duryodhana in front of Dhritarashtra himself. And he did not open his mouth. Vidura was really, really very hurt that these are the same people whom I have given advices, even contemplated on making them understand the importance of good counsel, but they have not taken it. So this made him relinquish his advisory post to the Kurus and he left. He went around all the holy places in India. He had a chance to meet great rishis. One of the great rishis, Maitreya. He met Maitreya Rishi. He was being given all kinds of knowledge to understand we are not this body, we are a spirit soul, and we are connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there was a lot of beautiful conversation between those two great souls. And then as he was planning to go around, he apparently happened to hear, it's like a fire. News is spread very fast. He did get to know that the Kauravas been defeated, Pandavas won the battle, and now Yudhishthira Maharaj is going to be he's the emperor, and Kurus are completely reduced to just a little baggage. They have nothing to do with this world. They are just simply hanging around there at the mercy of Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas. Yudhishthira Maharaj, even though he is the emperor of the world, finally thought that at least let me meet the Pandavas is what Vidura's thought process was. So he thought, let me once again go back to Hastinapur, speak to all these people, give some kind of a counsel to his elder brother. He was very attached to his brother. in one sense. Even though Dhritarashtra did not speak anything against Duryodhana, when Vidura was asked to move out of the place, right? It's very evident. So Vidura went all out. He tried to convey that message of importance. He knew that. Vidura knew that Dhritarashtra is blind physically and he is blind spiritually. We have seen that in the Bhagavad-Gita first chapter. Still, as a grace or a costless mercy, Vidura went out of this close compassion. This compassionate element is very rare with everyone. Compassion is not by talk. Compassion is from the heart. So if you see, Vidura is showcasing that even though he's a brother of the king, he definitely has a good amount of rights to do and rule the world in whichever area is being given a chance. But he used to give a lot of good, finer, detailed advices. He was the one who objected to the match. He was the one who objected when Draupadi was disrobed, but still no one heard it. So these all were actually a part of a very sinister plan by Duryodhana and his party. But then Dhritarashtra was just a blind person and he was just playing a role as a signature man for Duryodhana because of his clear attachment. Now, Vidura wanted to make sure that the king at least understand this at his old age so that he can understand the importance of the body and the importance of the soul and his presence in this particular place where he is at this point of time living. So he wanted him to go to the next part of his journey. This is what happens when all of us are in that kind of a situation. Sometimes the good advices don't go into our heads. We need someone else who is going to drill it down to the lowest level. And then we will be able to realize, okay, there is something more than this, which we need to realize. So Dhritarashtra is sitting in this palace with his wife Gandhari. I'm just giving you a prelude of why exactly and what exactly is happening. Vidura, after his pilgrimage, he comes back to the palace. Everyone comes out to greet him. And the pleasure in which they all are, so much happiness and eagerness in getting connected with him is very much evident. Yudhishthira Maharaj starts with the wonderful pleasantries, greeting with obeisances and embraces. Yudhishthira Maharaj goes out of his way and he says that, my dear uncle, you are the one who has protected us at every given point of time, along with our mother, from all sorts of calamities which you can contemplate on. And he was also partial to the Pandavas, just like how he cared to somehow or the other protect them from arson, from poisoning, giving a lot of information well in advance. So being an uncle, also a younger brother of Pandu, he was always connected with the Pandavas and he really liked their sweet souls. So then, but however, he was traveling and he did not take part of the war. So then obviously Dhritarashtra was simply sitting there, but Yudhishthira Maharaj took that privilege. He started asking how was he treated during his travel, were the needs are being taken care. Sometimes this is very important. One shloka is mentioned in this entire chapter, which is very extremely important, that we actually can by heart it. Tirtha kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadabrutaha. These great souls, when they go to any place, they carry the entire holy places with them. Just like when we see His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj comes to some of our places, or any other place like Radhanand Maharaj, or anyone comes to this particular place, they actually ooze out that mood, ooze out that energy of that place. Mayapur Dham, Vrindavan Dham, you can practically see them there, so much of enthusiastically preaching and bringing that synergy, the energy along with them. That is what is Tirtha Kurvanti Tirthani. They bring the entire Holy Dham with us. So this is what Vidura was doing. He also had a chance to go to Dwarka to meet the cousins. And Vidura was explaining many things. And he also explained a lot of personally what all he did, how all he connected with the Yadus, and how are the things, except for the annihilations of the Yadu dynasty. He did not want to hurt the Pandavas from being telling the direct news that the Yadus don't exist anymore. They have already descended and from the world, and they have ascended the supreme abode. So Dwarka is empty. So this is exactly what he wanted to convey, but he didn't want to do that because he was a very compassionate Vaishnava. And that is why he's called Mahatma Vidur, right? He is not a Duratma. Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad-Gita that two sets of people are there. One is Mahatma and another is Duratma. Mahatma is a very great soul who always think about the well-being and welfare of others. They are like Paradukha Dukhis, always. So we can see that Vidura, even though he was very conscious about what to speak, what not to speak to all these people, he was very clear to see the Pandavas will be very distressed if he had told that the Yadus are not there anymore. So he did not say about that. Seeing all these things going on very smoothly, and he didn't want to disturb that kind of situation. We always say, no, don't shake the boat when you are traveling. So this is what his Vidura's thought process was when he was actually conveying it. And he could also see that Yudhishthira Maharaj's reign was so sweet and very, very beautiful. There was always good rains. There was always nice fragrance. And the air was very soft. The people in general were very, very happy. So because there is truth. He was a Yudhishthira Maharaj is again Dharmaraj. And honesty is always there. There was no lie in his element. But then Vidura could not stay there for long, even though he stayed a little extended time. But in the meantime, he took that opportunity to preach to his brother. He gave a lot of information about you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, you don't belong to this, you belong to the spiritual abode, and you don't actually get clinged into this kind of a attachment to the family and the family matters when everything is gone down, and the dependency on Bhima to produce and give you the food after he feeds his dogs. He was very caustic. He was very serious. He was blasting left, right, and center. He was saying that, what are you doing here? You're an old man. You should not be sitting here in this palace and waiting for the food to come to your table. You need to relinquish all these things. This is how the olden time the kings and queens used to do. But now, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya, he did not give us this option of going to the Himalayas, but instead he said Sthane Sthita, wherever, Sutigatim. So means you can stay in the place where you are and still connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, just by chanting the holy names of them. That kind of a very costless grace doesn't come so often. So, but then Vidura was very serious about it. So he was pushing Dhritarashtra so much. He finally said, please get out of this place immediately. Do not delay. We can see the kind of fear you are being overtaken. The reality of that world is actually this. This is a truth, right? It's the truth for all of us. Any good advices will never have that kind of impact on us because we are living in a kind of a bed of roses. And these kind of dreams, which is something called dreams of cloud nine. The cloud nine never exists or doesn't exist also. But you see, natural tendency for all of us is comfort zone. We don't want to let it go. This is pretty normal. It's not an abnormal situation for anyone here. Why? Because this is the way we have been built up in the system. We have never been given a chance. We have been never given a chance to know what the reality is and how the reality is going to actually kick us. But the fact is this, sometime or the other, we need to use our intelligence instead of our mind. We need to make sure that the mind is being controlled completely over the intelligence. Intelligence must guide you. So that is very important for us. So Vidura was very caustic. He was very serious about talking to Dhritarashtra. He said that your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you're coughing mucus, and what are you doing here? You're already in the old age, and it's also very ripened. You must not be sitting in the palace. So saying that, he pushed, and somehow or the other, we can see that these kind of, how many of us actually have these kind of symptoms in all of us in some way or the other? We definitely go through all these things. These are indicators for all of us that the time is running really fast. And then, but one thing is certain, the good thing, or I would say that one good thing is that we are actually being exposed to the process of Krishna consciousness, which is the greatest boon for all of us, with the grace of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. Kaler doshe niderajan asti ekod mahadgunaha kirtanadi evase Krishnasya mukta sangha paramraje. If not for this kind of a causeless grace by Prabhupada, causeless grace by the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Chaitanya, we would also not be bothered about anything and everything. We would have been in comfort zone. Oh, it's 9 o'clock, 100%. This is the best period of time. I'll be sitting and watching a movie, or I'll be sitting and watching a serial, prime time video, right? But what is happening? Our time is fastly running away. And what we need to learn in order to understand that where exactly we need to build up our future, right? That is something we don't know. That's a statement, right? What you have learned is only a mustard seeds which is inside your hand. But what you need to learn, even about Krishna consciousness, is like a bag of mustard. But at least when you open the bag of mustard, you know that there is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there is Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of devotion, nectar of instructions, Leela Amrita, teachings of Queen Kunti. We actually eventually you will come to Bhishma Stuti, Kunti Stuti, everything. So all these things are actually the one which you can actually use it as a weapon against our attachment to this material world, into our family affairs. Here is a great example of Dhritarashtra's example personally is actually a direct reflection on us. How much attached he was to all these things, his material gains and material activities and all that. There must be a way by which we can connect with the Supreme Lord. That's what you need to attach with. And learn the art of detaching from all that what we are doing. But why do we need to do? We need to do it because we have burned the bridge and we have come here. Krishna says in the Gita, Mamayavamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Because we are Sanatana, we are connected to the Supreme Lord and we are in that Supreme abode. But somehow or the other we have come to here for our own enjoyment minus the Supreme Lord. So what has happened in that process is we have burned the bridge and we have to rekindle that relationship which we have lost. These two activities has to be performed, and Vidura was the one who showed this kind of a wonderful element. This is the part of Mahabharata which is actually post-war session. These all are the preludes. Nevertheless, it's very important to know that those days the kings and the queens used to do that. Once they found a very successful and a practical person who can manage the political affairs or the kingly affairs, they used to keep him on the throne and then they used to relinquish this place. We have seen great examples of great devotees who are doing that. Interestingly, Narada Rishi also comes in this picture. He gives a lot of information. And suddenly one fine morning when Yudhishthira sees that his uncle is not there, Dhritarashtra is not there, Gandhari is not there, and he did not even know that his mother also is not there. Because all of them, in the dead of the night, they said, okay, this is it. There's nothing more to stay in this palace. They relinquished, they started moving north. So Narada Rishi comes there and he gives a beautiful explanation about how we should not get carried away by all these kind of things and how we should not get into the mode of lamentation for something which we are actually not going to be for. Right? Krishna also says the same thing. Karpanya dosho pata svabhava prachamitvam dhamma sammuda cheta sheshyam nistitam bruidanme shishyastayam sadimam tam prapannam. Krishna is explaining the same thing. How did this kind of miserly weakness come into your heart, Arjuna? The same way Narada Rishi is explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj that what are you doing here? Why are you so much lamenting for something which is actually bound to happen? Jatasya dhruva mrityu. The person who is going to be born has to die one day or the other. And why are you bothered about it? You have to be relinquishing it. And that's the way Narada Rishi also explained it to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then further, there is some wonderful discussions on a later period of how Arjuna comes, speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj, that what happened to him and how he got defeated by a handful of these Gwala boys. So many things like that. Even though he was the holder of Gandiva, but he still did not have the energy because of Krishna's absence and Krishna's ascent to the Supreme Abode. All these things will be discussed. But nevertheless, after hearing that his mother left, Yudhishthira Maharaj thought that there is no point staying here. I already have a successor. I think he's the best person. So he installed Parikshit Maharaj to be the caretaker of the entire empire and made him very clear and very, very focused on his duties. He saw him ruling a few days or months or whatever. And then he realized that that's important for me to leave. But he did not call any of the Pandavas again. They voluntarily left with him. That's the beauty. You see, these are some things not to be told by anyone. These are something to be done from our heart. So Yudhishthira Maharaj relinquished every jewelry what he had. He did not tell any of the citizens that he is going to this place, he is going to be there for some time or whatever. He just left. And followed by Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, and Draupadi. We actually there is a place called Mana, in India, on the way to Badrinath, just after Badrinath, around 7 kilometers, 7 to 10 kilometers away, there's a village called Mana, which is the final post of Indian border. So you can see there are a lot of wonderful depictions in that place, and also wonderful pastimes. The Pandavas started going to the north, the same way as Himalayas, because Himalayas is the ascending place to the heavens. So they started one by one, they relinquished this place. Draupadi was the first to fall because she was very attached and a slight partiality towards her affection to Arjuna. Sahadeva also did the same thing. He fell. And there's a place called Sahasradhara. He fell because he was very proud for his wisdom. Then Nakula followed Sahadeva in the same place because he was proud that he was very beautiful looking, good looking. So every one of them, Arjuna then collapsed in a place called Chakratirtha. These are all places very near to this place called Mana village. Because he was very proud of his Gandiva and his archery skills, that he knew that no one is very good and effort. Even though these are all pastimes, what we need to understand also, these are all people and the persons. They are giving us a beautiful example of how we need to learn the art of living instead of art of living. So this is a very important element they are explaining. Bhima also fell in a place called Satopant Lake, and because he was always strong, and there is a Bhimshila. It's a big rock. He has just thrown it so that they can cross over the speedy moving Saraswati river. Saraswati is actually a river which is very mystical and mythical, and she only comes for maybe around 5 to 10 feet. That's it. After that, she goes to the Patal. So this particular place is like a gushing of Saraswati, and then the other side is where the pathway to heavens is. Yudhishthira Samoa had to go all alone, but he never saw back who is coming or who is not. And eventually, he was actually carried, he continued, and he went to the last place called Swargarohi. This is the place near to Satopant, on the way towards the heavens. When he goes, he actually sees a dog also following him. And he says that since this dog has continued to come with me, you should allow the dog also to ascend the heavens. When Indra came and said, okay, you can come. Believe me, the word is that he went with his own existing body. He didn't change. That was a very great achievement, because Yudhishthira Maharaj is Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was the ultimate in everything you are talking about. A brilliant king, a brilliant husband, a brilliant father. In every aspect, he was ultimate and very unique personality, which we see. He is the righteousness personified, his adherence to religion, his element of practice, his loyalty to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Even though Krishna was younger to him, but he always respected the Lord's advices. So these are some things which we need to elementally practice. We have to practice. It comes, but it's won't. It will take some time. But when we do that, and it's going to give us a lot of happiness, you will connect with the Supreme Lord and you will feel the happiness. So this is the entire overview of the entire Dhritarashtra quits home. How he went, and on the way he went to a place near to Himalayas where the rishis are residing. And then there was a forest fire and they all perished in that. That's the information we have. But nevertheless, there must be some kind of a takeaway for us in this chapter. What I could contemplate it is there are few very important elements which we need to learn. From this, examples of Dhritarashtra, Vidura, Yudhishthira, all these great souls. These great souls are all, even though Duryodhana might be a rebellious personality by nature, but definitely if they have got the chance to be with the Supreme Lord, they must be definitely a very great souls. But there is a lot of takeaway for us. First thing what I elementarily contemplated here is that we should never postpone our spiritual practice and our spiritual life, commencement of the spiritual life, until retirement. We should not wait till retirement. We should immediately take up, because these are all Shubhashya Shikram activities. Immediately we need to take that. So that is one thing which we need to do. Do not postpone your spiritual practice and your life until retirement. You don't have to wait till the last minute.com like Dhritarashtra did. Second, I also contemplated that it's a very important thing that financial independence does not mean spiritual independence. You see here, the concept normally we all have is that let me make some money, let me have some kind of a good bank balance, let me have a wonderful house, good wife, good assets, good children, let me wait till my sons and daughters get married, and then after that I get grandsons, and then I will contemplate on spiritual practice. No, it's absolutely different. We are not bothered about anything material here. We are bothered about only what can feed my spiritual soul and how I can attempt and focus on my intent and focus on my activities which can bring me closer to Krishna. That must be our focus center. So that is why financial independence should not or does not mean that we are dependent on spiritual independence first. No. Third one is a very interesting element. Always accept truthful correction, even though if it hurts. Most of the time, truth hurts. But if it's a good advice, don't stop it. Just simply take it. It doesn't matter whether you're practicing or you're going to follow it or you're going to implement it. But this advice is going to be beneficial to you on a later date. But you need to practice it. But in order to practice it, first you need to hear what the good truth is. Vidura went out of his way to accommodate Dhritarashtra, even though he is a brother. So he could have said, okay, come on, brother, let's go. He didn't. He took it a very serious aspect to preach to him. That saying that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, what are you doing here, wasting time here? You are supposed to go and take your higher taste in life. Param Dishtva Nivartate. That is what he heard from Maitreya Rishi. So he wants to give that message to Dhritarashtra. So what he did make the truth very, very straight. Chanakya Pandit says this, Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. Say it in a very straightforward manner, but it should be a little palatable. In the same way, Vidura went straight forward, told him, accept truthful corrections, even though it hurts. Next, one more important aspect. Family attachment must be spiritualized. This has to be done. What does it mean? Bring Krishna in the center of a family. Always keep Krishna in the center of the family. Then, what Prabhupada said is, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. It should be a family life or family practice must be a training ground for us to get detached, not into some kind of indulgence. Prabhupada explains two things, right? One is grihastha, and another one is griha medhi. Someone who is more attached to all that activities which is being given to him and unnecessarily building up and building up and building up and getting entangled is a Grahamedi. A Grihastha is a person who practices Krishna consciousness by keeping Krishna in the center of the house. Activities is revolving around the center of the house. Contemplating on how I can always serve the Lord in the best of my ability. That is spiritualization. It's not a ritual. It is spiritual. It's not a ritual. Not like you show agarbatti in the morning or in the evening or do some diya. That is a ritual. But it's got nothing to do with spiritual. Spiritual is connecting yourself to the Supreme Lord in the heart. Right? Krishna is there in the heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattar smriti jnano apanam cha. He is sitting there. He is the one who is guiding you in every moment of time. So that is why our family attachment must be spiritualized. Then we will not have any challenge whatsoever, even when we relinquish this body. Otherwise, we will have a lot of challenge. A birth and a death, these two are really, really troublesome. Because we are thinking about that we don't need to change this body and we can continue to enjoy ourselves in this body. And all that materially acquired or activated elements and enjoyments which we are currently going through and we are contemplating on, suddenly stops to hold back. It ceases when you relinquish this body, which you don't want to. You want to continue to be so. So the mind is allowing you to enjoy that, but in the same time, your desires are so strong, but the body is not good enough to enjoy the desires. So the Supreme Lord in the heart has to leave that place. That becomes a dead body. And he needs to give you a body, which is where you can actually use yourselves with in the right manner. So that's why very important for all of us that we need to spiritualize our family. We need to spiritualize our attachment to the family members. We need to be very consciously practicing by keeping Krishna in the center of our life. And then all that what we do is completely Krishna karma. There is no way you are getting entangled in any karma. Right. Next one. I have something very important. Dignity. Basically, dignity comes from detachment, not by dependency. Yudhishthira was an honest personality. He was very dignified personality. Dhritarashtra was indignified. He was completely dependent on the food given by the Pandavas, even though he was the emperor. But then he did not support them. He actually disappropriated. He said that my sons and the sons of Pandu, what are they doing in the war battlefield at Kurukshetra? Right? The first sloka of the Bhagavad-Gita. So this is the kind of people mindset or mentality which we should not even contemplate to hold. We need to relinquish this. We need to get that. They say, don't demand respect. Command respect by the practice what you do. People will follow you. That's very important. These are kind of wonderful things which we can actually contemplate and take it from this particular chapter. Also very important for us. We need to prepare consciously for the old age. The old age is very challenging. Just like how the birth is very challenging. Prahlad Maharaj explains this beautifully. He says the first 5 years as my childhood, or maybe if the first 10 years as childhood, it just flies. We literally don't know what we are doing, nor anyone knows what we want to do. And the next 10 years to 20 years or 25 years, we are actually being tossed left, right, and center to take some kind of a courses and blah, 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 studies and school and blah. After that, we are looking at some kind of an education. In the parallel, we are looking at some kind of, okay, let me have a boyfriend, let me have a girlfriend. I get Janasya Moho Sutapta Vitta. I want to attempt to enjoy myself and my senses and indulge myself. At the age of 40 years, you are actually thinking of maintaining yourself and sustaining yourself in the career path. At the age of 50, you feel that all this is a waste. I need to be more philanthropic. I should start giving something for the society. And people, you will see that they all talk about all these things as the age progress. If they are in the bracket from 50 to 60, they'll only talk about all these things. Social services, society services, They'll be a part of 100 and Lions Club, this club, that club, so many clubs, right? They'll think that I will be a ready person. I can help the people. I can come out with some kind of foundations. I can do a lot of charities, philanthropic elements. After 60, your fear element comes kicking because you don't know what to do, because even your own children don't respect you anymore. And they don't even bother to actually help you out when you're having some trouble to speak, trouble to handle situations. This I'm talking about a normal lifespan and with a normal living situation. If you have got some kind of paralysis at the age of 40, 50 and all, forget it. You'll be a wreck. But here is a situation which is normal. Prahlad Maharaj explains this beautifully. So then at the age of 60, 50 itself is a bonus. And after 50 is a mega bonus. And then this is the situation we are all going through. People will not be bothered. 60 and 70, your words will not be even cared about. Your sons and daughters even don't want to even come and see you. That's one of the main reasons that you can see in the Western world, they have a Father's Day and a Mother's Day. What does it mean? Once in a year, one day you put it as Mother's Day, I will come and say, hello, mom, you're all right. That's all. There's not more than that. Or on a Father's Day, okay, let me take my dad to a bar and restaurant and make him drink as much as he wants. And what happens after that? Okay, goodbye, dad. See you later. I've got some works to do. I'll see you. I'll drop you off. Over. In India, you don't see that. Every day is a Mother's Day. Every day is a Father's Day. We respect them. We take care of them. Why? Because they have taken care of us. Excuse me. So in the same way, we need to prepare consciously about the old age. It's very important. But we as devotees, we don't have to be worried about or scared about it, because it's a natural progression. We know that it's just a matter of time. I'm going to see the Supreme Lord face to face. Why I should be bothered? Even if I get another body, I will be praying to the Lord that I be placed in a body where I'm surrounded with devotees, right? Janma Ishware Sutashtibi Edyamam Mahatvam, right? Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. For whom is this? Materially completely collapsed people, only then these kind of great spiritual practice comes. We should also understand one thing, that devotional service is a privilege. It's not a taken for granted kind of thing. What are services? If someone, like for example, Narayan Prabhu says, and Prabhuji, can you go and drop this devotee, or Prabhuji, can you drop this in the temple? He says, why are you telling me, Prabhu? Why can't you tell the other person? No, it's not that way. We need to take it in 2 hands, 4 hands, and grab that service. It's a privilege that the Lord has empowered us to give us a chance to be in Krishna consciousness by doing service. Sevan mukhehi jagvado swayameva spurati hada. It's swayameva spurati hada. It's not the other way around. By simply serving the Supreme Lord, service is key for our practice. That's why Prabhupada wrote a beautiful diagrammatic depiction, right? He brought Bhagavan, he brought Bhakta, and then Bhagavad-Sevayā. So our connection to the Supreme Lord is through Bhagavad-Sevayā, but the Bhagavan can be connected only through Bhagavad-Sevayā. So it's like a triangle, always Seva, Bhagavan, and Bhakta. In the same way, we need to prepare ourselves. It's very, very important. More important than this is, death is actually not an accident. It's actually an appointment. How many of us have contemplated that? Right? We need to ask ourselves every day, this question which should come. Just like how when you go end of the day, you say that Kayana Vacha Manasendriya Buddhyatmanava Prakrite Swabhet Karamekta Samambrasmi Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Samarpayami. You pray, oh Lord, you gave me a chance. I'm very happy that you gave me a chance. I worked out so many things in today's, whether I went to a college, went to a school, went to the office, did some homework, and I did some, whatever I did. But all that is an offering unto your Lord of Sweet. Thank you for giving me a chance. This is how you pray when you go to sleep. But then you should ask yourself, okay, Lord, today may be my last day. My consciousness, am I clear in my consciousness? If I'm not clear, please enable me, empower me to become more and more clearer. Because all we have a chance or a possibility is that we can come. We can go to the bed. We can say good night, and close the lights and lie down. We don't have the privilege to get up as you want. We are taken a lot of things for granted. That privilege is in your heart by the Lord as Paramatma. He will decide whether he wants to be ready to wake up for the next day for this soul. Right? So that is why it's not an accident. It's an appointment. We need to understand. I am going to plan and prepare myself to see the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, and all the wonderful Vaishnavas in the Supreme Abode who are always serving. I will be able to serve Prabhupada. I will be able to serve my spiritual master. I will be able to serve the Guru Parampara. Now, my consciousness must be clean and clear. Only then I will be able to go there to that place. Let's prepare for this. Finally, one last important thing. This is key for all our success. Prabhupada always emphasizes this. Choose your association very, very carefully. That will shape our destiny. Even if it's a late spiritual effort, it's okay. We can definitely be a successful element with some pure devotees' guidance. We have our spiritual masters, we have Srila Prabhupada's books, right? We have the Acharyas, they are all backing us up. Don't ever think that you are alone in this world. Never anyone can think or contemplate that they are alone. We have the backing of the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya Parampara Acharyas. They are there to protect us. But never underestimate, this is very important, never underestimate the power of one sincere instruction which you receive from your spiritual master or a senior Vaishnava giving you some kind of a good advice. Don't ever let it go. Dhritarashtra did not understood the importance of Vidura's presence in his court. Dhritarashtra always thought that, oh, this guy is always buck. He always keeps talking, no point. But he was giving the perfect advices for the perfect situations, for the perfect time. But he was never ever being respected for that, including even the Dhritarashtra being the elder brother. He did not respect Vidura's words. Very unfortunate. That's why he is blind. But here is a chance for all of us to accept the Supreme Lord's grace on us, Lord Chaitanya's mercy on us, Srila Prabhupada's blessings on us, that we take this undoubtedly, choose the association. Iskcon is a platform. It's created for us. This platform is the one which is going to take us till the last breath of our life. Prabhupada says, you live in Iskcon, you die in Iskcon. Why? Because this association is very key. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra hoy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hoy. This association, Krishna Prasadam, chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord, studying Srila Prabhupada books. That is the greatest thing. That is why Prabhupada always emphasized these four aspects. In every single devotee, they should come to that level. What did he say? He said, purity is the force, books are the basis, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. When we are able to attempt to do something like this, you will actually shape up your own destiny. Because Krishna is in the heart. He is going to guide you. Because this is a very pure soul. And he is the one who wants to be with me. So then why bother? He will simply say, yes, come on. You are the right person, right source person. You should be able to come. And then automatically we will know that this world is just a simple reflection of the spiritual world where we are in. Even this world will become spiritualized. Our own family life, our own family matters. Because we cannot let go everything and go and sit in Himalayas. We have got so much responsibility to take care of the children, take care of the family, take care of the husband, take care of the wife, take care of the elderly parents. So many important responsibilities as we have. But if we have been told that, okay, you will be getting moksha only if you go to Himalayas and sit, no. Mahaprabhu did not give that. That's the advantage we have. Krishna says, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. He demands surrender first. Then let's talk about it later. You first demand down. fall at my feet. Then we'll talk about it later. But Mahaprabhu, no. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. He was just infusing us. Take as much as you want. Plunder yourself. This entire kosha is ready. Kalair doshe nide rajan asti ekod mahatgunaha kirtanadi evase krishnasya. Mukta sangha paramrajayat. One single wonderful quality. This is available in this Kali Yuga. Is to Mukta sangha prajana. It will take you to the mukti. That is the holy names of Krishna. How is it possible to chant? Only with the association. A like-minded, probable, conscious, wonderful, connected association. Not with someone, you go to the high street and end of the day, there will be someone who's sitting in a homeless fellow, spare me some change. What kind of association will you take from this? These kind of people are not going to help us in any manner. But you need to give that mercy. Give him a biscuit. Offer it to the Lord and give him a biscuit. By the costless grace, he will progress. Imagine his state of life. How much of sinful thought process and sinful activity he must have done in his past that he is suffering from not having a shelter. Here is a pathway. Prabhupada has given us such a beautiful platform called Iskcon. All of us here sitting in this room, the Zoom call, our roti makan kapda is covered. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to think about it. Where's my next food? Where's my next clothing? Where's my shelter? Krishna has given us in ample. We eat 5 times a day, 6 times a day. Who cares? How much he is giving? Abundance. That's the power. That's why we need to take this Krishna consciousness in a very strong manner. Let's not take devotion service for granted. It's a privilege that's been empowered on us by the Acharyas. Okay, that's the summary of this particular chapter. I thought that I will also take these as a kind of lessons. It will probably be very useful for all of us. I was actually writing down all these points sometime so that it reminds me on my mind. And then I realized that this is really very interesting chapter, as Narayan Keshav Prabhu said in the start. Very interesting chapter, because these are some things we don't actually contemplate many times. It just goes away with it. But then when someone is bringing you that on board, we should grab it with 2 hands. That's the idea. Okay. I'll stop here. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions, any reflections, or maybe any add-ons? That will be really appreciated. Please give your feedback.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you for your good guidance and advice. As you said, that we should take the advice, and we definitely take your advice and your guidance and your time. Thank you so much for making time for us. I really appreciate it. That's your mercy to us, and we'll want to grab you with both hands and both ears as well. So thank you so much, and I love your wonderful analysis and realizations. That's very important, because we've done 13 chapters so far. Each chapter has given so many lessons.
Yes.
But there's only so much we can sort of squeeze out of it. We need your guidance to squeeze a bit more.
Nothing.
So thank you. This is one eye opener and absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I did that. The last time I did this overview was 6th chapter, and then I'm suddenly seeing that you are in 13th chapter. So much progress. So many wonderful devotees are getting the benefit of it. That's really brilliant. This is why Prabhupada always says, no, Nityam Bhagavata-Sevayā, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki. Every day we start reading little, or once in a week or whatever with this good association, we will realize how much progress we would have done. We don't even know. Imagine ourselves 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back, and now how we are. And we will really know where we are. And this is the purity. Purity is the force.
Yeah, definitely enjoying the nectar of this, every word, every sentence. It's been it's a wonderful journey, and like I said, we have a small team, but they're very enthusiastic. So better small enthusiastic rather than so many disruptive members. There's no point of that, and would keep disrupting the class and time's wasted. You never learn anything. So they're very good listeners, ask questions and give wonderful points as well. So I'm sure they'll got very good questions to ask. I just want to ask quick. I have lots of questions, but I want to ask one. less is time. My curiosity in this chapter was that Gandhari, his wife, who's 108% loyal with him, sportive to him, she's pious, she's chaste, she's dharmic, everything. Why didn't she try to help him?
Why did she not help her?
I
No,
mean, why,
actually,
why
it's
did you
true.
take Vidru to come and sort it out? She should have done it. Wives, nowadays the wives, they're
No,
very quick. One little mistake and you curtains, right? So why couldn't she help him? Our wives help us. I really appreciate it because they keep us straight and narrow. Why couldn't she help him?
actually, a chaste partner supports your spiritual progress. This is very truthful. Gandhari did give Dhritarashtra a lot of good advices, right? But if someone is blind completely, mentally, physically, psychologically, and everywhere blind, he doesn't want to hear any good advices. It's like a rock. You're hitting on a rock. What is going to happen to you? You're going to bleed. So a very intelligent person would prefer not to bang yourself on the rock. Instead of that, wait for some kind of a chance where something can positively grow. So she was praying a lot. She is a very powerful lady, because in those days, to be with one person who is completely blind, and she chose to blind herself by closing with a towel or whatever. And she was not bothered about to see the world and enjoy. When she knew that her husband is blind, I am okay. I am going to be blind. But she gave a lot of good advices. In Mahabharata, it's explained. Gandhari's advices to, even she gave a lot of good advices to Draupadi. How you need to be chaste, how you need to handle situations when it's not going to be so conducive for you. Because Draupadi also is a person. Actually, the entire war of Kurukshetra is because of her. Because of her coming out, and then because of all those things, many things. So the Mahabharata is pretty deep, and you go deeper and deeper, and you will come to another sub-stories, stories to stories and all that. So we will not take it as granted now. Maybe sometime, Krishna willing, we will handle that. But nevertheless, Gandhari was not someone who was chupa Rustam. She was a very serious personality. She was very serious. Also, she was a spiritually quite elevated person. She was not bothered about some small petty things. But Dhritarashtra, on the other hand, he was not in a position to get that heart opened because of all these kind of calamities. This happened to all of us also. It's very obvious. Only some kind of a situational impact or impediment will actually change our face towards the Supreme Lord, right? There are 4 kind of people who come to me. Krishna says in the Gita, right? Artha, Arthati, Jignasu, Gyani. So these kind of people are the ones who actually will be a reciprocal recipients of the Supreme Lord's mercy. So Dhritarashtra falls in one category of this, and he had to wait for it. And the waiting period had to get over only when the war is over and he lost all his children. The advice given at the start of before the war itself killed the entire the fetus and throw them in Ganges. They are unfit to be in this kind of world. They're going to create an ahwak in the society. How many millions and millions of people died just because of his one single greed that I want to be what I want to be and I don't want to share it with anyone. He was not willing to share even a village which was easily being thrown in a needle's edge. That kind of a mentality of a person's greed is ultimate. Krishna went for a lot of messenger. As a messenger, he did a lot of mediations. No help. So what can he talk? Gandhari was really an honest person. She did support her husband in the best of her ability. But maybe Dhritarashtra had to play a role that he had to wait till Vidura came and gave him the good advice. That's my take on this.
Thank you, Babu. Yeah, I mean, she still kept with him. She still followed him, even right to the end. She went to the forest with him.
Yeah, we don't have any data which speaks about what she spoke as personally in her own chambers. what kind of gyan she gave, what kind of knowledge repository she had. We don't know, because nowhere it is explained or mentioned that Gandhari was preaching to Dhritarashtra, giving her a good advice, him a good advice, and quite a lot of things. But she followed her husband. That one thing is what is being exposed to us, that she followed. But we don't know what kind of discussion she has had with the husband in her private chambers.
Thank you, son. Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking like if Vidur had not come, he would have gone to hell, right? So
Anyway, he was due to go to hell.
yeah,
But it's the only causeless grace of some great Mahatmas,
yeah,
right? That is why it is very much. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada actually states one statement: the Sasyanam Graham Agatam, means you can have a seed. This is about a gardener, okay? So a gardener can actually give a seed and then make sure that the plant is coming up good and all that. But the gardener has to be very careful to watch all the time, because the gardener, if he doesn't see that closely, the plant and the weed also will be going side by side. We may actually cut the plant instead of the weed, right? So what happens in that process is, unless and until the gardener gets the privilege and happiness, when he gets the happiness, when that plant becomes a tree and becomes a wonderful tree, starts giving fruits and flowers, and these fruits and flowers are at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So in the same way, a spiritual master always craves and always thinks with anxiety how these disciples are going to grow up in their spiritual practice and be able to go and fall at the lotus feet of Krishna as a small atom. So in the same way, we needed someone like a great Mahatma like Vidura. He was actually a Maharaj, more than Dhritarashtra. He gave such a brilliant advices. Yes, Prabhu.
thank you, Abhijit. Please, anybody else like to ask? Open to yourselves, and you can unmute and ask Prabhu any questions, anything you didn't understand or you like some information on. Jai Prabhu. Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for a very nice class. It's yeah, I really like your point about dignity, as applying to Dhritarashtra. If he had a bit more dignity, he could have avoided so much damage, so much problems. Actually, on one hand, I think Narayan Keshav Prabhu asked my previous question in terms of why Dhritarashtra had to, was blind for so long. I think it was just, so you also explained it was like a rock that had to be broken. It was part of Krishna's plan. So
Yeah.
actually, I'll ask about Yudhishthira actually. Obviously, we know Yudhishthira, like Dharmaraj, very pious, yet he was also addicted to gambling. So that was, yes.
That's why I said in the class also, it's all a pastime, right? It's not that he is going to get attached to gambling and he's going to keep his wife as a gambling bet. This is you should see from a bigger picture that all these devotees, they are all amshas. They are all what you call a particle of the Supreme Abode, particle of the Supreme Lord, and particle of these great devotees. How can the Lord of Justice be addicted to one of the vices? That looks a little stupid to understand, right? Yudhishthira is a lord. He is the Lord of the Justice, right? Yamaraj. He is a part of Yamaraj, Amsha of Yamaraj. So how can he have all these things? This is just a pastime. So someone had to take the role. Just like how in Lord Chaitanya's pastime, Haridas Thakur, he was Lord Brahma himself. But what did he do? He took beatings for on behalf of Mahaprabhu in the marketplace. And then Lord Chaitanya came and said, what are you? You didn't feel any heat. I had the heat, I had the pain, because it's all beaten on my back, right? So like that. We should not think that, oh, can they also have the vices? But in one sense, the kings are allowed to do that, because they come from a Kshatriya clan. So it's not considered as a vice in them. It's considered a game in them. It's like a play. Like, for example, they can go hunting. We don't consider that. Meat eating, we don't consider that. Gambling, we don't consider that. All these things they do because that's a part of their kind of a societal practice. It's not something we can. You cannot make Yudhishthira a Brahmana, right?
Yeah.
Because Brahmana means someone like Chanakya Pandit. That is a Brahmana, right? He's talking straight. He's talking without any attachment. He's very clear about it. Chanakya Pandit is the man behind the entire Maurya dynasty, which is the largest dynasty of kings in the entire Indian continent. So these are the kind of Brahmanas who create, they are the heads. Prabhupada says, no, Brahmanasya Mukhamasi Baho Rajanya Kritaha Uru Tadasya Vaishya Shudram Padyaha. This is in the Rigveda Purusha Shukta, right? In the Purusha Shukta, in the Purusha Virata Rupa, the Lord's head is the Brahminical class. The shoulders are the Kshatriyas. The stomach is the mercantile. The foot or the legs are the Shudras. So like that, every particular Varna and Ashrama is defined and being given that kind of a privilege. Just like how the Grihastha Ashrama is also given a privilege. But you should not indulge yourself. But you should be using that privilege only for procreating for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So everything is being given in the limitations and very specifically. But if you do something beyond that, that's not the Lord's concern. It's your concern because you did that something wrong, which is not being entitled for you to do in that particular ashram. Brahmacharis cannot do the indulgence because they are not being given that privilege. Just like that. Does that answer you?
Yeah, probably. I think kind of answered the question I was going on to, as in, from what I understood from a class I heard from another Prabhu, is that he explained that Yudhishthira's example is that sometimes you can be too pious. He explained as in his explanation was that actually there's, as you explained, the gambling was because pastime as such, but also because Yudhishthira was so pious that this was like an example of where for us in that if you are trying too much beyond your limits, that you can take the bad habits. So like my question is in the sense that, like obviously you explained, you should try and focus on serving the Lord, serving the devotees. How can we keep check of ourselves that we're trying to do the right thing, but sometimes, as you explained in the mode of goodness, you could become proud of yourself. What can we do to keep ourselves in check and not, we think we're doing well, but then we end up doing bad instead?
Possible. You get carried away very easily. Anything in excess is always a poison, right? You can take a rasgulla, 10 rasgullas, the 15th rasgulla is going to create a havoc in your stomach. It's going to be a food poisoning. So in the same way, anything in excess is definitely not good for anyone. But what we need to check is what is being given a possibility or a probability for check by the spiritual master. We can't judge ourselves. There are only two people who can judge us. One is the Dharmaraj, and another one is the Supreme Lord's direct representation. Even Krishna cannot check us. Direct representation as a spiritual master can check. That's why we can't judge. So we have to be always under the lotus feet of them. And then we will be closely monitored and tailored up. We'll be tailored off. Otherwise, as you said, even higher pious, you see, if you stay in a village, it's mode of goodness. You stay in the city, it's a mode of passion. You stay very closer to a sea or what do you call some kind of a community, like a fisherman's community, right? That's the mode of ignorance. So, but then who is going to guide you and tell you what is right and what is wrong? You need to have some kind of a guide. That's why the spiritual masters they do the checks and balances all the time. And they know that what is good for you, what is not good for you, how much of goodness is good for you, how much of passion also is good for you, they know. Because if you're working, you cannot be in the mode of goodness to work. You need to be in mode of passion to work. You need that passion to work. But in the same way, if you're in the mode of goodness, it is good for you. But how much of goodness is good for you? That only the spiritual master can guide us. So that's why we need to cross-check with them, take their blessings and seek them and ask them our queries so that they'll be able to answer you. That's my take on this.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Anybody else? Any questions, please?
No questions is good questions, Prabhu.
Okay.
It's always, you can answer them, definitely. Okay.
Any, just very quickly, Prabhu, if you want to, anybody wants to make any comments, please, you can.
Yeah, most welcome, most welcome. I'll be happy to take it as a feedback.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just a reflection from me. Thank you very much for the class. It was awesome. It was inspirational. I felt like I was going to all the Govindas to eat. There were so many takeaways. It was unbelievable. And so obviously, many of these things we've come across. Do not delay because time is of the essence. And we've been through birth after birth, and we have negated the reality of our existence. And our reality of our existence is to be involved in bhakti yoga. And you just defined to us how important it is to don't waste time. That death isn't going to come suddenly. There is an appointment with death. And it's going to happen to each and every one of us. And so we have to make that preparation, just as Vidur helped his brother make that preparation before it was too late, and hence we have to make that ultimate preparation to have the dignified death accompanied by the absolute truth. And, to leave this world, there's an art of living, but there's also an art of dying. And to die with grace and dignity is so important. And you gave the example of, we clutch on to one or two mustard seeds, which is the mustard seeds of the material world. And that's what we have. I have, since coming to the Krishna consciousness movement, realized, why am I so preoccupied with one or two seeds when I can have a field of mustard seeds? I can cultivate a forest of mustard seeds, which will grow into huge trees, and from those trees something will emerge, such as offerings which I can offer to the divine. And, ultimately, the Krishna consciousness movement gives us the truth that will set us absolutely free. Hare Krishna.
It's a fantastic thought process and the realization. Yeah, it's very important for us to come like this. We need to reflect ourselves internally, because this Krishna conscious movement is something like inside out revolution, right? This is a reflection coming from inside out, not outside inside. So Krishna is saying in the Gita very many times, and Bhagavatam also in many times, that whatever we are actually is what we are actually reflecting from our heart. The care, the compassion, the dignity, the thought process, the clear intention, the acceptance of the truth from the higher sources, all these things doesn't come on a day one, and it's not an overnight affair. It's a lifetime affair, maybe lifetimes and lifetimes of affairs. But the good thing what we have got is that we have been given a wonderful chance that we have started the process already in this Krishna conscious movement. So that is the greatest boon and benediction which we have received from Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, our Guru Parampara. They are given us in abundance. So we should not feel any way very loose, or we should not feel any way, what's going to happen to me later on. That morose feeling should never come to us in any point of time. We have been given this wonderful opportunity that Krishna has given us. We should do as much as we can to the abundance of our heart's liking in service of the Lord. Then as much as we can, Yatha Shakti. Once after you finish that, then the Lord will take care of us. This is the beauty of this Krishna conscious movement. This is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada, how he designed it. If not for him, if not for this wonderful movement, I don't know where all we would probably, I don't know about me, myself, I don't want to talk about others. Probably I would be in some kind of a bar and restaurant, or some cricket match or a football match, and wasting our time in unnecessary things, which is not required indulgence elements. That's my feeling. But yes, definitely your thoughts are really appreciated, and it's very important for us to reflect on this inside out. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
Thank you, Kiran Prabhu. I think Punikaksh Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much, Vishal Prabhuji. It's a
Thanks,
wonderful
Prabhu.
class. It's a very, very wonderful class. I really enjoy listening to you, like last time and even now also. And the point I took from your class, the mind-blowing point is, take any service that comes to your hand with both hands, like with both hands. So I just realized that when I go for book distribution, so this gave me an idea now. I always think that okay, somebody will get some prasad there or something to distribute, but I think even I can offer some biscuits at home and take it with me. And if I cannot give a book, but at least I can offer a biscuit, something to them which is offered. That's really really good point, Prabhuji.
One thing I want to interrupt before you go to the next one. Isolan Jayapatak Maharaj said this: if you can't make a friend, don't make an enemy. The idea is to make a friend always. How will the friend come? Only through the man's heart. So prasadam is the key for success. Go ahead, Prabhu. Go to your next one.
Yeah, and I like the point of praying before we go to bed or even in the morning. So we are not sure whether we'll wake up in the morning or not. But again, it's
No one knows.
but we can pray always to the Lord. I mean,
Yes.
at least.
Even a simple prayer, Namaste Nasimaya, or you just say Jai Hanuman, or whomever you feel is your Ishta Devata.
Right.
You can say, you can pray to Garudadev, you can pray to Hanuman, because they are ultimate servators. If you contemplate on them, then you are actually contemplating on service. Right? I always contemplate on Hanuman because I love Hanuman and I love Garudadev and I love Sudarshan because they are epitome of service. All the time they are ready to do service. They are not thinking about this thing. Even if we relinquish this body, you're going to the next body. What are you going to do? Service. Right? You might be doing books, or you might be doing puja service, or you might be doing something, but definitely service. Because we have been created for doing that service to please the Supreme, right? That's it. Please do so, Prabhu. You will really like it and you will really love it when you do that. When we were children, we are taught this mantra. That is why I did say that when we are before sleeping, and when we get up in the morning, the first thing we do is we used to touch the floor and then pray to Mother Earth. And then we used to we used to go and brush our teeth. The next thing what we do is that we had to go and pray in front of the Lord and pray our obeisances. Only then we used to get a glass of milk. So otherwise we will not get it. So at least for that sake, we used to run away and do all these things. But then I realized as day progressed and I came out to Krishna consciousness, the process is so systematically embalmed in your life that it is simply sublime. I loved it. That's how it is. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's a good coincidence. Actually, I started reading this book, Japa Affirmations by Mahatma Das.
Mahatma Prabhu. Haribol.
Just
Yeah, this is
today
great
only
book.
I started reading this book, and you also gave nice affirmations, Prabhuji, today.
Yeah, you should start that just before you're chanting.
Oh, yes.
Read one line of your affirmation that I will not use the mobile phone before my chanting or after my chanting. Keep it away. For 1 hour, you consider that you don't have a mobile, it's lost. That 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever you are chanting, no phone should be shut. Even there's a call coming, don't go near it. Close it. And second thing is, try your best not to sit in your bed to chant. You will definitely end up in sleeping. So these two you can attempt. But create your own sacred space. It can be your drawing room, your kitchen room, or your bedroom in which you have a table and a chair. You can sit, but don't sit on the bed and chant. It'll make you, because bed is meant to sleep, not to preach or chant. So that's the thought process.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gauranga Prabhu. Please bring some extra biscuits on Saturday. We'll see you there.
Yeah, good thought. Yes.
Yes,
But
it's
make sure you don't put some nuts, because this country, a lot of nut allergy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah.
We had an issue last 2 weeks back. Someone took up a peanut, because we had a Swadh festival, and someone took a peanut, and I could not contemplate. He did not have his whatever spray or something, and then we had to rush to the NHS. So we have to be a little careful with that. That's it.
You're right. So many allergies,
Mm.
especially nut allergies. Yeah, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Unless there's anyone else, I think we've taken Prabhu's time, and we can stop here. Though unless somebody really wanted to speak, but it doesn't seem. So we're going to end
Thank
here.
you.
So let's all unmute and give 3 Haribols to Vishal Gauranga Prabhu, please. Haribol.
Haribol.
Hari.
Thank you so much,
Ki
Prabhu.
jai.
Really appreciate it.
Krishna.
And we'll
Pranams.
catch up with you so soon. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarvyaśya Kripasindevya Vichapatitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Ramacharya Siddhartha. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. And we'll catch up again on Friday. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.